In the quaint town of Claiborne, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, there lived two potters, each with his own unique style and purpose. Master Potter Elias was renowned for his beautiful, soulful pottery, each piece telling a silent story through its shape and glaze. His rival, Marcus, on the other hand, had mastered the art of churning out cheap, mass-produced wares that filled the shelves of every commoner's home. As time went on, Marcus's fortune grew, his pottery so commonplace that it seemed to be everywhere, while Elias remained poor, his exquisite pieces appreciated by few. One day, despair filled Elias's heart as he looked upon his meager earnings. His wife, Alara, ever the picture of quiet strength, placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Do not lose hope, my love," she said, her voice as soothing as the morning mist. "There is always the whispering spring. It is said that if you ask the spring for a blessing, it will grant your wish." The whispering spring was an old legend, a tale whispered down through generations of Claiborners. According to the tale, deep in the whisperwood, hidden from the eyes of most, lay a spring whose water, when mixed with clay, could imbue any object made from it with extraordinary powers. However, no one knew exactly what kind of power the spring would bestow, making it a gamble of fate. Hope flickered in Elias's eyes. Though he was a man of logic and reason, even he couldn't deny the allure of the legend. Maybe, just maybe, he could turn his fortune around. With a grateful kiss to Alara, he set out into the woods, the hope of revitalizing his pottery career keeping him going. The journey was long and fraught with challenges. Thorny bushes tore at his clothes, and gnarled tree roots threatened to trip him up. But Elias pressed on, the thought of his family's well-being spurring him forward. Finally, as the sun began its slow descent, he saw it, a clearing bathed in the soft glow of twilight, and at its center, a crystal-clear spring bubbling merrily. Taking a deep breath, Elias knelt beside the spring. He closed his eyes, focusing all his hopes and dreams into this one moment. Then he scooped some of the cool water into his hands and carefully collected some nearby clay. It was a clay of a peculiar silver color, veined with a shimmering light that danced in the fading sunlight. Intrigued, Elias brought the clay home, hid it away, and the next day began to work. He kneaded the clay, feeling its unusual softness beneath his fingers. As he shaped it, he felt an inexplicable connection between himself and the clay, as if it were alive, responding to his every touch. Day turned into night and still Elias worked, his hands moving with a precision and grace he'd never known he possessed. And when he finally stepped back to admire his work, he saw not just a jar, but a masterpiece, a vessel of otherworldly beauty, its silver body glowing softly, as if containing the light of the moon itself. Overcome with emotion, Elias rushed to the whispering spring, holding the jar aloft. "Oh, spirit of the spring," he cried, his voice trembling with awe, "what magic have you bestowed upon me?" Suddenly, the jar trembled in his hands, and as it did, a voice, ancient and ethereal, echoed through the clearing. "I am the voice of the jar," it said, "and the power I have granted you is the power of truth. Whatever I show shall be revealed. There is nothing I cannot see." Elias gasped, his mind reeling at the immensity of the power he now possessed. With trembling hands, he returned home, his heart heavy with the weight of his new responsibility. The jar pulsed faintly in his hands, a constant reminder of the burden and wonder he now carried. Days turned into weeks, and Elias found himself at a crossroads. Should he use the jar's power to bring wealth and fame or find another way? Unable to bear the weight of his decision alone, he confided in Alara. Her gentle wisdom, like a balm to his troubled soul, guided him towards the right path. "Elias," she said, her voice soft yet firm, "the power you wield is a gift, not a tool for personal gain. Use it wisely, not for riches or fame, but for the greater good." Her words echoing in his heart, Elias resolved to use the jar's power responsibly. One day, a messenger arrived from King Alaric, summoning Elias to the castle for an urgent task. Upon his arrival, Elias was ushered into the royal court where a hush had fallen over the assembled nobles. King Alaric, his face etched with worry, gestured for Elias to come forward. "Master Potter," the king began, his voice grave, "there is a darkness brewing in our kingdom, and I believe you hold the key to dispelling it. This jar, with its otherworldly glow, has become a mystery that even I cannot ignore. I summon you to use its power to reveal what it conceals." With a deep breath, Elias stepped forward. He knew that whatever he was about to do would change his life forever. Looking into the depths of the jar, he saw not just an ordinary vessel, but a portal to the secrets of his kingdom. As the nobles watched with bated breath, Elias focused his will, and suddenly the jar flared with light, revealing the shocking truth. The jar showed the king's trusted minister, Lord Alaric, accepting a bribe from a foreign envoy, pledging to undermine the king's authority in exchange for untold riches. Gasps echoed through the court as the nobles, including the king, stared in disbelief at the image displayed in the jar. Lord Alaric's face, usually so impassive, was contorted in a mask of shock and betrayal. The weight of Elias's revelation hung heavy in the air, threatening to shatter the foundations of trust within the kingdom. King Alaric, his face drained of color, stumbled back, his hand instinctively reaching for the hilt of his sword. Elias, his heart pounding in his chest, continued to stare into the jar, willing it to reveal more. But as abruptly as it had begun, the vision ended. The jar, now dim and lifeless, offered no further insights. A heavy silence descended upon the court, broken only by the soft murmur of the nobles discussing the shocking revelation in hushed tones. King Alaric, his eyes blazing with a mixture of anger and sorrow, turned his gaze upon Lord Alaric, demanding an explanation. Lord Alaric, his composure finally cracking, fell to his knees before the king, his pleas of innocence echoing through the silent court. Yet despite his protestations, the damage was done. The trust between the king and his minister, once as solid as steel, had been eroded, replaced by suspicion and doubt. Elias, watching the unfolding drama, felt a surge of unease. He had uncovered a truth that threatened to tear the kingdom apart, and he realized that his actions had unleashed forces beyond his control. Torn by the gravity of the situation, Elias knew he had to act. If he was to protect himself and his family from the repercussions of his actions, he decided to flee the kingdom, leaving behind the turmoil he had unwittingly caused. But as he prepared to depart, he was confronted by the king himself, Alaric, who surprised Elias by not holding him accountable for his actions. Instead, the king revealed that he had already taken measures to deal with the corrupt Lord Alaric, demonstrating his wisdom and foresight. Alaric then offered Elias a position as his personal advisor, recognizing Elias's unique abilities and the potential they held. Elias, humbled by the king's trust and seeking to atone for his past mistakes, accepted the offer. Together, Elias and the king worked to restore balance and prosperity to the kingdom. Elias, drawing upon his experiences with the magical jar, became known for his ability to uncover hidden truths and guide people towards making the right choices. His story serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, wisdom and courage can prevail. Yet even in the midst of these triumphs, Elias never forgot the valuable lesson he had learned from his wife, Elara. He realized that true wisdom lay not only in wielding great power, but also in knowing when to remain silent, when to let the whispers of the world fade away and listen to the quiet voice of his conscience. As years passed and his reputation grew, Elias continued to hone this skill, understanding that sometimes the greatest strength lay not in speaking the truth, but in embracing silence, in carrying the weight of the world's secrets without revealing them, allowing people to find their own paths to redemption and understanding.